Welcome back, everyone. Got some more Age of Origins today, and I still can't say enough about this. I'm still loving this game. I'm up to level 29 for my character and level 24 for my city. So tons of things to do, and my favorite part about this game is just that every time I log in, there's some more to do. And as I mentioned before, it's a perfect game to log in, do a few things, and then return hours later, whether it be, say, on your lunch break or at evening when you get home. So I'm just logging in now for lunch. Now I'm going to go ahead and just claim some things. So I finished exploring. I'm going to claim that. And then I'm going to send them out again. Right now I want some of those badges. So I'm going to do that one. Request for help where my teammates can help me. I've finished upgrading some troops. I'm going to start some more in the queue. I've got the garage that is ready to do some more as well. So I'm going to research these medical facilities. And here I can use this, some crates that I have to boost the resources to get them going. Basically just clicking everything as I go. And you can always use this quick tab as well. This has most of the things, but not everything. You'll see the alliance contribution. I still want to do that. Make sure to help out my alliance. So I actually need some more food. So what I can do here is go into my bag. And I can use under resources some of these food crates. Now I'm going to go ahead and take about 200,000, and now I can go back into the tab, and that should be enough to cover this. And I've got plenty of those crates. So you might be thinking, why don't you just open all of the crates at once? Well, because other players can attack your city, and if you have the items in crates, they're more protected. Whereas if you claim all those resources, they'll be available for enemies to actually come and plunder. So you want to kind of keep them in there for your reserve, and you can increase the amount that you can protect through upgrading your depot. However, mine is not high enough level to protect everything that I've got. So again, just kind of going through, clicking, I'm going to claim some of the Alliance daily quests, and you can see I'm just logging into a ton of things. Now I am going to claim some resources here. This will probably cover the food that I needed since I haven't been on for several hours at this point. And I've just about attended to everything. I've got some Alliance gifts, and I'll go ahead and collect the remainder, and that's a lot of gifts right there. I have joined a much larger alliance, as I mentioned in the last video, and it's very, very active. So the last thing that I want to do here is get some of my buildings upgrading. I've got 2 building queues that I can use. Right now I want to increase one for the house. That's going to allow me to store more refugees, and the refugees give very powerful bonuses. You can see I am currently level 11. And these are huge bonuses, 11% to building speed, 55% to gather speed, 16% to troop attack, 16% to hit point boost. So very, very strong. Bigger your army gets, the better that is. The longer the timers get, the better that is as well. So these are things you want to do. And then I also want to upgrade one of my steel mills, because right now I'm struggling to keep up with steel. And I'm going to request help for that as well. And my allies will help me out. So I do have the option to upgrade the warplanes. However, I'm going to save that for now. I can get an upgrade, but I'm saving for a larger upgrade that requires more. So even though there's an icon there, I'm going to bypass that. So what I want to show today is I have shown a couple of the zombie defenses, and this is called Infinite Zombies. So you can click on the tower itself. You'll see there's Classic and Infinite. Now I've shown some of the Classic. I'm going to do the Infinite. You can also get through it through the icon if you haven't done it yet today. So I saved this last night when it reset. And I'm going to go ahead and challenge this. You can see I've got 1 challenge remaining today. And there are armaments that you can get through this shop here if you want to spend some of your gold. Now I do have a fair amount of gold that I've built up. And you get gold through various tasks in game. So I'm going to take a look. Don't care for that. The freezing robot is very good. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with a freezing robot. And I'm going to hit challenge, and this will allow me to select the freezing robot, and I will go ahead and challenge. Now this is different than the other levels. I'm going to bump the speed up to start. They're going to come out of all these different areas. Okay, so there's a 3rd one there, 4th one, 5th one, 6th one. Now this map will always look the same. However, where they come out varies, and the time at which they do and so forth can change. But in general, they'll always head towards this direction, and your base will always be in the bottom left, different than the other maps that you see. And this is just a challenge. It's not something that you beat one time and move on to the next. This will just keep going and going for as long as you can survive. So what I'm going to do is hit that play button long enough to see the track of where those enemies are going to go. And I know they're going to head in this direction. So I want to make sure that I'm beefing up things that are going to get coverage from multiple areas. And in this case, what I actually want to do is start off by putting one of the slowing towers right here. Now you'll see that I'm not covering much range, so I'm actually going to upgrade that right off of the bat. In fact, I'm going to do it a third time, and this is going to give me much better coverage for the enemies that come through there. And here I'm going to start building some lasers. And the reason is because we have one of the exits coming here, and typically when they come out of the short ones here, it's just single mobs, excuse me. So the lasers work really well. So I want to make sure that I have lasers to take care of those once they start spawning, but also to finish off some of the mobs coming from there. Now, I'm still going to have all the remainder of this to deal with. So I'm going to put another tower here. Now, I'm not going to upgrade this one quite yet because I'm going to need these resources to deal with what's coming. And again, I'm trying to place towers where they're going to get benefit from multiple of those exits, at least until I have more resources to kind of take care of covering all of the spots and dealing with more of the enemies. And you'll see why that's going to become really important as time goes on. So I want to get a couple more rockets down because I think those are going to be the most useful, and I want to place them up here because they're going to get more coverage when the enemies are slowed. So I think that's going to be more benefit, at least for now. At this point, I can get started, and we'll see how we deal with the first wave. And enemies are on the way, so we're doing all right so far. I'm going to go ahead and add another rocket, and now I want to kind of start upgrading the area of the slow. And you'll see something starting to trickle by. And I'm going to need a little bit more coverage here, I think, with this snare. I'm not sure if those circles will overlap, but if they're going to take the explosive robots. And now we'll see that we're coming out of 2 exits at once. I have much longer before they start coming out of the other one. And I need to consider placing another slow here, like I mentioned, just to make sure that there's coverage. I'll upgrade this once more, and I can continue to upgrade those, but I really need to make sure that nothing is getting by at full speed. Otherwise, my base will be in jeopardy of taking some damage. So I'm going to start placing some more lasers down here. And I'm going to go for some more rewards after each wave. This part I'm going to drop it to 2 just so I can plan out a little bit better. I can see the enemies are still coming from there. I'm actually going to go ahead and place another snare here. And I know there's going to be overlap, but I need to make sure that I have full coverage. Otherwise, I'm going to struggle as this gets more intense. Adding some more rockets as well. As well as some lasers in this area. In fact, I'm actually going to add another slow right here because the slows are just so important. You really want everything slowed 100% of the time. Otherwise, you can really get into trouble. So I'm going to add one down here for the ending, and I'm going to start putting some lasers here because eventually they're going to come out from the side there as well. Hopefully I get all these enemies down. Now, it's not the end if a single enemy reaches, because I do have a health pool of 26 remaining. It started at 30. You can get some rewards that actually increase that. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and just take some additional resources because I'm behind on really where I want to be at this point for crafting. Upgrade a couple of these lasers that are in the vicinity of those slows. I'm going to get one more rocket there. I'd like to upgrade this when I get enough points, and that should give me really good coverage on that slope. And now I just want to kind of line things, upgrade, and keep an eye on those exits where mobs haven't left yet, because eventually they're going to start coming, and I need to be prepared for that. Upgrade these. Now I am going to take some damage here. I'm going to go ahead and use one of the explosive bots just to deal with what's coming, and just continue to upgrade and try to stay alive. Basically, I may need to use a second robot right there on those higher health mobs, and that's going to help a lot as well. And now I really want to make sure that I'm preparing for the other exit, so I'm just throwing down some level 1s for now. So we have some really good options here. I'm going to take another freezing robot. Those are super powerful. Hopefully I can hold on to them, but I think I'm going to need to use them very shortly here. Now we're going to be coming out of here. So upgrade that. And I'm still kind of prepared over here. I can add in some rockets here. And I just need to get cranking on upgrades for things that are going to get a lot of value. And by a lot of value, I mean where mobs are going to come through from multiple of the exits. I want to make sure that I'm not beefing up things that are going to get kind of situational use. I need to make sure that everything I'm upgrading is getting value for these resources. So I'm going to go ahead and use a freezing robot because I'm down to 15 health, and I want to make sure I at least get through this wave. You can see how powerful that is. It just freezes everything in that spot. It does a tremendous amount of damage with everything that's hitting it. Obviously you want to freeze it where you have good coverage from your towers. Upgrade these just to keep the slow going down there. And we are continuing on. So I actually think I'm going to go with some extra life because I'm certainly going to start having more zombies reach my base. So now we're coming out of this one as well. I'm going to place a snare just to delay them at the very least. A couple more rockets just to chip away at some health. Nothing out of that one quite yet, but it's certainly coming. And again, I'm just going to be trying to upgrade things that are going to get some value here. So this mob is now sneaking down this way, so now I want to make sure that I'm covered here. I don't have quite enough resources to deal with it immediately, but hopefully what's down there can take care of it. Fortunately not quite, so I'm going to have to freeze again just to prevent some damage. And just continue to hopefully beef up and try to get as much out of this as I can. If I could get into the next wave, at least I'll get some more points, which give me more rewards and the ability to kind of purchase more things from this. And you also have the ability, when you do this event once per week, you can do it on automatic and it will just repeat your score for the remainder of the week, so you don't have to spend this much time each day. And that's why I wanted to show you this event as well. Looks like I may in fact actually lose here, unfortunately. A little bit sooner than I would have liked. Perhaps I'll hold out. In fact, I may make it onto the next wave. So you can do this event once, and it does take some time to do this infinite mode, especially as you get a little bit stronger. I will go ahead and take the explosive robots. And then you only have to do it when it's favorable, and then you just do the auto, and you can kind of go through and still get decent rewards that way. And it's just a nice way of kind of keeping your time limited when you log in and not feeling like you have a ton of dailies. There's nothing worse than a game that requires you to do hours of dailies, right? So I want to use these robots as soon as I feel necessary. In fact, I'm going to drop one just on the massive mobs right there. And I might need a second one to deal with the next wave that's coming. And at this point, I am just trying to hold out for as many points as possible. Just getting as high of a score. I know I'm not going to make it through this round. Almost certainly I'm going to go down in the near future, but I'm able to get a large amount of points, and this is very solid for my power rating within the game. These towers and the damage that they put out actually increases as your own individual power does as well, so you'll get further and further along. You'll see I get 600 of these TD coins. It's giving me a total of 4,300 or just over, and I'll be able to repeat the auto process for the remainder of the days this week, or I can challenge it again if I have the time or just want to try to improve my score. Now I can go into the exchange store, and you can see 4,300 points gets you just about anything you want. How many of those you can buy will vary, but it's a decent amount. At the moment, I'm just kind of hoarding them for the most part. I do pick up these two Titan equipment alloys each day, but I still get more points than that. So I'm accruing them, and that's why I'm still able to kind of go in a positive direction. I'm spending them on those because I want those to upgrade my Titan, but the remainder of the stuff isn't of huge interest right now, and at some point it will, because I do use everything in here. The least used that I have is actually the officer XP, but that is not the case. Eventually I will want to level my officers up, but since I'm still relatively new to the game, I don't have some of the best officers unlocked, so I just don't have a need for it yet. So, hope you enjoyed that Infinite Defense. It's a lot of fun. check out the game. You can find it in the download link in the description below. And as always, thanks for taking the time to watch, and have a great day.